that LSK must protect the practicing space for lawyers, the bread and butter issues. We must do what it takes to ensure that lawyers have good incomes from the work which we do. So that is the core vision which I have for members of the LSK.
Thank you. We, of course, we're going to discuss about the LSK elections. But before we do that, Bwana Kagonye,
yes,
I would like to hear what Mr. Wanyama believes, or what is his opinion on the Othaya clash.
The happenings in Othaya.
The happenings in Othaya,
sure.
where police officers and goons allegedly stormed the church and brandished guns and tear gas to worshippers, where former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was attending.
Yes. You know, there's something which I noticed when I looked at what happened in Othaya. And that was not a very good picture. First is that the church is a place of worship. So we should do what it takes to ensure that we protect the rights of worshippers. And the right to worship is guaranteed in the Constitution of Kenya. You have the freedom to worship your God. Secondly, the same Constitution guarantees the right to assemble. You can assemble and associate with the others. This right, again, cannot be taken away. So what we saw in Othaya is two things. One, violation of the right to worship, and secondly, violation of the right of the people who wanted to be at that function to gather and share their own ideas, to discuss their own issues, whether it's in a church setting and all that. So it's unfortunate that I saw the police involved in issuing tear gas. I don't think there was a situation to warrant the throwing of a tear gas. Because the tear gas is issued when you want to quell violence. Was there violence in the church for you to issue to throw a tear gas? I don't think there was violence. Secondly, why will the police be with goons? Persons who don't have uniform. You know, the High Court has said, if you are a police officer, you must identify yourself, and you identify yourself first of all by wearing official uniform, so that Kenyans know whether you're a police officer or not. So if you are a police officer in plain clothes, you must also carry an identification card. But then you ought not to be actively involved in this kind of situation where there is delicate peace to be maintained. So I don't understand what is happening. That is why it is important that the Inspector General, who is responsible for the police, comes out and tells Kenyans what is happening. Why are your policemen with goons? What are they doing? Why are they throwing tear gas? Why are they on the same side?
Yes.
Yeah. Why are we seeing a breakdown of law and order? That's what the question that the Inspector General of Police must answer.
And to add on to that, I don't know what are your views as we head towards the elections period. These things do happen. They have happened in the past, but during the reign of the current administration, especially here in Nairobi, we've seen police working together with goons, or police not acting on the goons who are, supposedly or allegedly are robbing people in Nairobi CBD. I covered the demos. I was there. I witnessed it, and this dalliance that we can see between, for lack of a better word, the state and the goods as we head towards the elections. What are your fears, and what's your take on what should be done to make sure that we have a peaceful election, and so that we don't go back to where we were 20 years ago?
Yeah, you see, my biggest fear looking at law enforcement for the past 20 years is politicization of law enforcement. The former constitution that we had before 2010 provided for the Commission of Police to have exercise what the constitution calls independent command of the police. The current constitution vests the same power to the Inspector General of Police to exercise independent command of the police. Instead, what we see is police working with goons, persons who we don't know, we don't pay them as taxpayers, and that is quite challenging. So myself, I will call on the Inspector General of Police, please The Constitution says you are supposed to exercise the independent command of the police force. You give lawful orders and instructions to police officers to execute when they are doing their functions. So don't allow the exercise of police powers or other persons to interfere with that chain of command. We want police officers to follow the law, to strictly obey the instructions which they are given within the law. Yeah, so we don't want them to work with goons. It sends a very bad image, very bad image to the police force. It ceases to be a police service. It becomes something else, and that is not very good for the profile. So what we will do when we get elected is to work with the Inspector General. Tell the Inspector General, we have a mandate as LSK to advise you, and we are advising you that under the law, you need to take charge of the police, service. Secondly, don't allow goons to do law enforcement. You're supposed to arrest them. They are criminals. Take them to court for when they rob Kenyans. When they do crime. You can't be on the same side with goons.
Wakili, you say that you're going to work with the IG and advise him on what he's supposed to do. But we have seen the current president of the LSK concentrating and focusing more on actually giving pro bono services to those who have been arrested. Especially, you remember when the state used force. When the state used actually some laws, anti-terrorism rules, to take protesters to court. Are you saying you're going to take a different route to advising the IG as opposed to helping and issuing pro bono services to those who have been unduly targeted by the state?
Not at all. What we will do, because we realize that the Inspector General of Police does not know the Constitution. So under the law, the LSK Act, it is LSK which has a mandate to advise government on legal issues. So you need to first of all tell them that this is what the law says. We as LSK, we are issuing what I will call an advisory, which members of the public will also get a copy. Where we look at the parameters of engagement and tell them, you cannot, as a police officer, do this, do that. We have a duty to advise the Inspector General of Police as LSK. Secondly, where they mess up with Kenyans' rights, when they violate the law, someone is arrested and they go and die in police custody, like in the case of Albert Ojwang, or someone's rights, someone is just working in a peaceful picketing. You know, the Constitution allows you to demonstrate peacefully. You are demonstrating, then you are arrested. So as LSK, we will also stand there to protect the rights of Kenyans. Again, that is also our mandate. So our mandate is twofold, to advise and also to take active action where the human rights of the people, Kenyans, are violated. So we will take action. And how do you take action? One, by going to the police station and telling the police officer to give you reasons why someone has been arrested. Why have you arrested someone? Give us a reason. Two, if you are arresting someone, take them to court. The following day, don't allow them to be hurt in police custody. Thirdly, they require legal representation. So at LSK, will ensure all those rights of the accused person are fulfilled. When they don't obey the rights of the accused person, then at LSK, we have a right to go to court to sue the Inspector General of Police and tell the Inspector General of Police, you have violated the rights of the people, there are damages that you will pay. Like I'm handling an active case today. I was in court today, and the High Court has issued an order for the Inspector General of Police to pay a member of the public 4.5 million shillings in respect of a stray bullet. Someone was walking on the road, on the side of the road, in a public demonstration. A trigger-happy policeman pulls the trigger, that person dies. So the court has ordered compensation. And you can see this is really damaging to the Inspector General of Police. He must be responsible for his officers. And he needs to know that what his officers do, he is ultimately the one responsible.
Will be responsible.
Yes.
And in line with that, talking about court orders, We've seen that this government, even the previous administration, they have been ignoring court orders. And even the IG himself has been cited a number of times for ignoring court orders. When it comes to that, as the LSK president, how do you plan to go about that issue? Because it's an issue that is there. It's an issue that we cannot, turn our eyes against it. It's there. So how do we go about it? Because the government is still the government anyway. They can choose to obey or not to obey.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Our legal system functions on the basis of the doctrine of the rule of law. What that means is that everyone, doesn't matter who you are, not even the president, not the Inspector General of Police, not the Speaker of the National Assembly, not the Chief Justice, everyone is subject to the law and the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. So that is principle number one. Principle number two is that if you have violated a court order and you are a public officer and you are a state officer, then there are mechanisms for dealing with you. Like in this case, policemen who, at the top, senior policemen who violate court orders, thinking they are above the law. Law Society of Kenya will do what it takes to ensure that we go for their jobs. We seek a declaration in court that someone is unfit to hold public office. We will push through the National Police Service Commission to ensure they are not paid salaries. We will do everything that is legally permissible to ensure that they are subject to the rule of law, including getting them summoned to appear in court to explain. And then when they are in court, if they fail to show up in court, warrants of arrest are issued. Remember, you can never, ever run away from the rule of law. Because if you are a public officer and you disobey court orders, one day that thing will come to haunt you when you are out of office. And for us at LSK, we will keep on telling public officers, don't think that power is permanent. So then it gives you the courage to undermine court orders and feel like you are the king. One day you'll be out of that office and that power will be gone. And then that is when you will know that I have a baggage in my back. There's a court order which I have not obeyed, and it's a permanent baggage in my bag, in my back, and it's quite a problem. You can't do anything. It's just a problem.
Actually, some things are better said than done.
Yes.
Let me seek your opinion on, we have, in the spirit of maintaining the rule of law, we have seen one of the Judicial Service Commissioners, Isaac Ruto, yes. Donning party colors or at State House, usually when the UDA was having its National Governing Council. And one of the lawyers have actually gone to court seeking his removal from the Judicial Service Commission.
No, it's not
yes.
court. The National Assembly.
The National Assembly, sorry.
Yeah, because they can't go to court.
Yes.
The court has no power.
Do you think
National Assembly.
Do you think that Isaac Ruto is bringing disrepute to judiciary?
Yeah, you see, when you are a state officer, there are certain limitations. A state officer is not like me, a member of the public. Them, they are subject to certain constitutional limitations, certain constitutional guidelines, certain requirements on leadership and integrity. The way you carry yourself as a state officer matters. So a state officer at the level of Isaac Ruto, they are required to carry themselves in a certain manner. So where they, for example, take part in partisan politics, then it is right for a Kenyan to complain. And when you complain, there are legal mechanisms which have been set for you to complain. And I believe if they follow those legal mechanisms, there will be a solution. It cannot be open-ended. There is a solution for every problem. We just need to follow the law. Like in this case, I believe they have filed a petition in the National Assembly.
So according to you, I would like you to explain to our viewers the processes that may lead to the removal of a commissioner.
Yes, for a commissioner, a commissioner in any constitutional commission, Judicial Service Commission, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, etc., these commissioners cannot just be removed. There must be a petition which is presented to Parliament, and then Parliament will process and consider that petition. It will hear the petition, the petitioner. It will hear the respondent, in this case, Isaac Ruto, and then it makes a recommendation.
A recommendation to the president or to who?
Yeah,
of
so the recommendation is for the formation of a tribunal to investigate their conduct. In the meantime, when a tribunal is formed to investigate their conduct, they are suspended from office.
But it is the president who now creates this.
It's the president. It's the president.
And Isaac Ruto is an appointee of President.
No, you see now when it comes like judges are usually appointed by
the president.
By the president.
Yes.
But when Judicial Service Commission makes a recommendation to remove a judge from office, the president, because he is subject to the rule of law, he must follow what the law requires him to do. Like in this case, form a tribunal to investigate the conduct of a judge. When the tribunal makes a recommendation to remove that judge, the president cannot disregard the recommendation of the tribunal. He cannot have a discretion to say that I don't like the recommendation. If the tribunal says get fired, the president must fire.
He has no power.
He has no power to
So in
reject.
that case, you say that it's just ceremonial.
Yes, any other decision of the president
Yes.
will be legal and unconstitutional. Remember when the former president refused to appoint judges?
Yes.
Yeah, what did the court say? It is an illegal exercise of public power. You cannot say, I cannot appoint judges. The constitution says you must appoint judges.
Yes.
So who are you? You are the president. Yeah, so at some point, the courts were said if the president refuses to appoint, then these judges take office. There's a judgment with that effect.
Yeah. But now the challenge comes in when you are taking office, you've not been sworn in.
Yeah, the court said they should be sworn in by the Chief Justice. There's necessity. You can't break the law. Yeah. And you see, that's the path where we are saying we don't want to go.
Yes.
It's the path of anarchy. Yeah, we want a society which is governed by the rule of law. Everyone is subject to the rule of law.
Yeah, now talking about anarchy, we have seen President William Ruto, especially speaking during the National Governing Council, talking about a very salient issue, or I would say a controversial issue. He talked about, he said he is going to courts, and he's seeking the interpretation of the Supreme Court, I believe, on the issues of the ruling party and its manifesto and governance. He talked about one of the things that he was contained in his manifesto was about the issue of the infrastructure fund, the issue of the social health authority. But
he's complaining about court orders.
The courts have issued orders on implementation of what is contained in the manifesto.
Okay.
And now he's arguing that the general election should form the basis of public participation. But the courts continued issuance of court orders against the implementation of what the people voted in actually blocks the people's wishes.
And in this case, we're talking about 7 million votes.
Yeah.
7 million votes. So what do you think?
I don't think that is the correct legal position. You know, the Attorney General is a very good lawyer. He ought to advise the president accordingly. That the Constitution of Kenya, at Article 10, Article 196, also paragraph 2. So sorry, Article 96, paragraph 2, on the powers of Parliament. It says, public participation is a fundamental national value and principle of governance. Public participation is not election. When Kenyans go to a general election to elect a president, they are doing a selection of their leader. When that leader is sworn into office and forms up his government, there are certain guiding principles. The Constitution calls them national values and principles of governance, which those leaders must follow every time when they discharge their responsibilities and functions as leaders on behalf of Kenyans. So one of the things which they must always follow, which this government ought to follow, is public participation. Whenever they implement any major activity, they just need to do public participation. What is public participation? You go back to the people, you tell them that we want to implement this project. What do you think? then they give you their input, they give you their views. Public participation has a place in governance. It enhances decision making. So it cannot be wished away. So what I would advise the president and the attorney general is to set up a clear mechanism on how to engage Kenyans in a public participation, so that when they go to court, they don't lose. Because if they have followed the law, no judge will quash a presidential decision contained, which is implementing his manifesto, if he has followed the law. The court will look at it and say, hey, but I thought they did public participation. Look at the list here. They consulted the people. These are the comments they said, which they have incorporated in the public policy document. And therefore, we allow the decision. The challenge with what we are witnessing now is just the Attorney General not advising accordingly on the full scope of the requirements on public participation, which is public participation ought to be meaningful and qualitative. We don't call people in a room, then you give them tea, then you say it is public participation. It says, call them in a room, listen to their views, put down in a report, go back to the office, consider their views, then adjust your recommendations accordingly. That is public participation.
So what do you think the president is trying to do here? Because the president has an attorney general who advises him. The president also has his legal advisors. So when he is telling actually using the podium of State House, saying that in front of the Supreme Court judges during the swearing ceremony of Court of Appeal judges. So trying to read the mind of president, what do you think he's trying to achieve? Is he trying to intimidate the judiciary or to pocket the judiciary?
Yeah, you see, when I get elected LSK president, we will be advising accordingly the president also. We will tell the president that your attorney general has failed you. You're not issuing proper advice to you. Now, we as LSK, we also have a mandate under the Constitution to issue an independent advisory. So we will tell the president that you can do your politics. Yes, talk the way you want outside there. But at the end of the day, Kenya is a country governed by the rule of law. What it means is that you will talk, but if something touches the legal process, then you must follow the law. For example, if a decision has been quashed and because of non-compliance with the Constitution, if you are not happy with it, you go to the Court of Appeal. If you are not happy there, you go to the Supreme Court. You challenge the decision. If you lose at the Supreme Court, you tell yourself, this time round I have not done it well. Let me now do it again. Consult the people properly.
Wonderful.
Mr. Wanyama, shifting gears to now the LSK elections.
Yes.
You contested last time.
Yeah.
And you lost to the current president.
Yeah.
So what lessons have you picked along the way?
I don't think I lost. Yeah.
Kiribiwa.
Yeah. No. I don't think I lost. It was just a delayed victory. A delayed victory because the issues which I wanted to address
back then
were not addressed. Now members are saying, address them now. So we want to address them, and we were going to win on 27.
Are you saying that
yes.
Faith Odhiambo has not addressed any of the issues that she wanted addressed?
She has attempted to address rule of law issues. We give her flowers. But on the issue of protecting practicing space, bread and butter issues, we have done nothing at LSK level. There is something that we need to do. That is why members are saying, hey, Wanyama, come. You need to run for LSK president.
So you unasema watu ndio wanakuitisha?
Yes, it is members who have consulted. They are saying you must run for LSK president because you are a strong litigator. You know how to address practice issues, and you will do what it takes to ensure that bread and butter concerns that we have are addressed in a meaningful way. They want action. They just don't want talk. They want action.
And talking about action, as a common mwananchi who does not know what the LSK does, just knows that it's a coalition, or it's the coming together of lawyers. Why should I, as the common mwananchi, care about the well-being of the society and the well-being of LSK, and why should the elections matter to me?
Yeah, you see, elections of LSK do matter because it is LSK that stands on your behalf by law. It stands on your behalf as a Kenyan whenever there is a problem in government. Whenever the government is violating the law and the constitution, LSK has a responsibility to check that violation. So it matters. Yeah, when government has not done public participation on a major issue, it is up to us, LSK, to go to court and say, hey, you can't implement that project. Come back and consult the people first. You are doing it in a hurry. That's not the right way to do it. It is our responsibility. Our responsibility. So in summary, we are the voice of
the people.
Kenyans when it comes to legal issues.
Being the voice of people, maybe before Kakonyi ask his question, what is your relationship with the current establishment? Because when we posted that you are coming to this show, some other people felt that your camaraderie with this administration. You have represented big shots in courts of law. You have also represented the Council of Governors in courts of law. And there are people who have some reservations and say that is this guy being a state of the state? Are you a state of? Are you a project of the state?
Of course not. One, I'm not a member of UDA. Two, I'm not a member of Ford Kenya. Three, I'm not a member of the other party. What is it called? ODM. They're the ones who are in government, right? I'm not a member of any of those parties. I used to member of a party called Devolution Party of Kenya because we believe in the spirit of devolution. It is true, I've represented the Council of Governors in some cases, but the Council of Governors is not government. Who says the Council of Governors is government? We have the Council of Governors acting for them. I have sued national government in how many petitions? 1, 2, 3, up to 57 constitutional petitions. We have sued national government and won. Devolution is strong today. Devolution could have died many years ago. But it is strong today because of the litigation which are filed.
So how do you tell those
people? Yeah, we have strengthened constitutionalism. We have strengthened the rule of law. We have strengthened the interpretation of the constitution. So that you, as the people of Kenya, you can now have a functioning government at the county level. Devolution was under threat and we stood firm to protect it. The threat continues. The threat continues.
Until today.
Yeah, until today. Today I am handling 2 major cases against national government. 2 major ones. Where I have stood firm, I have protected the rule of law, I have exhibited the characteristics of a strong leader, not the one who can be pushed around like
not a pushover.
So why do you so those people who are pushing those rumors, they said this last time. I'm here to tell them.
There is also that last time.
Yes, they say those things last time. I have never served in a government task force. Who is this? Who are these big shows I've represented? The government has its own lawyers. They have their own lawyers. We know them. For me, I'm independent-minded.
Yes.
I am a practitioner. I believe in constitutional law and constitutionalism will protect the rule of law. Once I wear that coat of LSK president, then you will see for yourself that as Peter Wanyama, I will be consequential. I will be strategic.
Let me ask you.
I will be pushing when it comes to rule of law issues.
Let me ask you. But why do you think people are associating with the...
No, it is part of propaganda. When you're a strong candidate like myself, you have taken the lead in LSK race. The way you know it's a 4x4. Faith is about to give it to me. So she's running, it's about to give it to me at the corner. So I'm about to pick it and run. And then they are saying, "Oh, that man." So it just meant to derail my race. But this time round, there's one thing that is happening. Advocates have seen the lies.
Have seen
the propaganda. The propaganda. Advocates have seen and they have told me, Wanyama, we know what you are capable of. Soldier on. We are right behind you. That is why we are standing today top on the race.
Wow. I wish you well, but okay.
Mr. President,
candidate for president.
Okay.
Yeah,
don't call him president yet.
He's not a president yet.
I'll come back on 19th.
So when you talk about,
then you can call me that.
When you talk about the bread and butter issues, and
Yes.
I've heard you talk about litigation, I've watched and I've even read about you talking about expanding the field where for lawyers, because what in your own words, what we have today is that lawyers are so focused on litigation, but you want to expand that. Can you take us through that process of expanding that playing field for the legal fraternity?
Yeah, bread and butter issues, it's a complex area. Are you ready to listen? But let me summarize.
Summarize, please,
Yeah.
in a minute or two.
Hii mambo ya mikate na matofaa.
Siagi.
Mikate na matofaa. One is that the numbers in the legal profession are increasing.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. We have 27 law schools now registered by the Council for Legal Education. And you know, when they produce lawyers, we cannot... You cannot restrict the production of lawyers to come into the market. So when they come into the market, they find that the bread is getting small. And we are all competing for that bread. And then that bread is also being, we have accountants, surveyors, quacks, etc. We're also competing for the same bread. So what we are saying is that we need to kick out these accountants, surveyors, and quacks who are in our profession. Corruption, etc. Kick it out. Protect that bread for us. We are like a jealous lover. It is our profession. We want to be jealous of it. Kick everyone out. So once we have it for ourselves, then we can say, okay, how many are in the sector? We are 10,000. So 5,000 lawyers. We tell them, LSK has opened up emerging areas of practice in policy and legislative development, in climate change, in technology and artificial intelligence, in food safety law, in blockchain matters, in media and entertainment law. We tell them, create specialization, go into these other subsectors. We train our members, we train the young lawyers so they can acquire knowledge to dominate on these emerging areas of practice. And that is the mandate of LSK. Can it be done? It will be done under my leadership. So when you open up these emerging areas of practice, like a started media group here, I'm sure you need a lawyer who understands entertainment law and media law in a much more specialized way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and there is market. You will give employment to that lawyer, maybe 2 or 3, or maybe 4 or 5. And we also need to interplay, because you will find that even reporters, you can go and acquire a law degree. When you come, you want to become a lawyer, you have the media knowledge, so it makes you a better practitioner. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, talking about the bread and butter issues again.
Yes.
There's a petition that was filed by...
in Nakuru. By Dr. Magare Gikeni. And Musundi.
Yes. And 6 others.
Yes.
And among them is the Busia Senator, Mr.
Okiya Mtata.
And those issues... they were saying it's just an avenue. They are not against the government or county government or state departments procuring legal services from outside, other than from in-house counsels. But I don't know. I know it's a sensitive matter because it's already in court.
No, it's not a sensitive matter. It's a matter that we need to explain to Kenyans.
I don't know what is your take when it comes to that.
First, the court has clarified its orders.
Yes.
Varied them. The court has said, in fact, the court has gone back to the status quo. So we don't understand what the fuss was all about. Activist decisions. They don't understand legal services. What happens in government now, which the court has revised, the court order that we have now, covers the status quo. What is happening? What is happening is that the government of Kenya is comprised of very many agencies. One, constitutional commissions, like IEBC.
Yes.
And SRC, etc. These commissions enjoy their independence.
Yes.
They are not under the subject of the Attorney General.
Yes.
So the Attorney General cannot act for them. They can hire their own lawyers. Secondly, they can also make their own decisions by saying we have a complex case. Can we get an external lawyer? They don't need approval of the Attorney General. That has been created in the judge has created that exception. Secondly. The Attorney General is the chief legal advisor to government, granted. And the Attorney General has employed so many lawyers within the AG's office and seconded them to ministries. However, there are some cases where the Attorney General does not have capacity or technical capability to do them. For example, if the government of Kenya wants to go and raise money, 200 billion from the euro dollar bond market, they will not go to a Kenyan lawyer. We don't have capacity. They will work with one Kenyan lawyer and then go to a lawyer from Britain, who will provide the capacity and the services. Secondly, there are cases of where there is conflict of interest. For example, within a state corporation. If you are the director of legal services or chief legal officer, you are the one responsible for legal issues, right? And then you are sacked. Right?
Yes.
You cannot have your immediate juniors to represent you. So that in that case, you take an external lawyer. So that is what is happening. So it is not true to say that lawyers have taken all work. A lot of work is done inside government. Lawyers do only this little work that we get. And for that, we must be paid because we have a right to be paid.
as we talk about that, we've seen the conversation that that could be an avenue because when you look at the legal fees that some county governments
it's
do
huge.
pay, it's quite huge. And the conversation was that why can't we channel this money towards the AG's office and then
No. You see, it can't work because those people, the people who say that,
yes.
They are like this anarchists we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
People who don't want to be governed by the rule of law. Kenya is a country that is governed by the rule of law. There is a law that provides on how you onboard lawyers to offer services to members of the public. Through the state corporations and AG's office, etc. That is the Public Procurement and Disposals Act. All we need to do, and the Public Procurement and Disposals Act has objectives. One of the objectives in the Act is cost effectiveness. So when you follow the Act properly,
To the letter.
and then you follow also the provisions of the Advocates Act, you will not have cases of exaggerated legal fees. The cases of exaggerated legal fees may happen, but in extreme scenarios. And by the way, like the fees that is due to Donald Kipkorir, there are legal mechanisms to test the legal, to check whether the legal fees is accurate or not. Yeah, and those legal mechanisms, like in the case of Donald Kipkorir, they have been followed. Yes. And the High Court has looked at the law and said, even if the legal fees is huge, this legal fees is justifiable and it ought to be paid. They have gone to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal has rejected the claim. The other cases where the Court of Appeal has intervened and said this legal fees is huge, cut it to this amount. So in those cases, so you can't condemn lawyers generally. 99% of the lawyers actually get underpaid from these state corporations. They sign what we call a legal fees agreement after a procurement process so that the legal fees is limited. You can imagine you are doing a very, very complex case, then you are paid only 1 or 2 million. It is limited through an agreement. So you can't raise 200 million. It's limited.
But Wanyama, I would like you to tell us, because you are not the only person who is contesting for this particular seat.
Yes.
You have, I think, 2 other candidates.
Yeah, we are 3 of us.
You actually 3.
Yes.
So why you are not the other 2?
That's a very good question. And let me revert to what I know best. When I was in Form 2, I was taught an important course, the physics. And in there I was taught the concept of inertia.
Yeah.
The concept of inertia is that's when you say F force equals mass and acceleration. So the point I'm making here is simple. Is that yes, my competitors have served at LSK. One is vice president, the other one is served before way back 10 years ago as treasurer, served at the Nairobi branch, etc. And we are saying thank you for your service. You have done well. But we can't go back to the past. We can't go back to the state of inertia where we are just there. We want to push LSK a little bit. Push it a little bit. We need fresh ideas to confront the challenges which we face now as a bar. We need fresh ideas. So someone new, someone who will come and offer you, you see, you have been eating ugali, nyama, and sukuma wiki. And then you have been eating that for 14 years. Then you don't see any change. And then someone is coming and say, hey, wait a minute. Can we reduce the portion here? Can we introduce something else in the menu? Can we add a little bit of salt here and put spices there? Those are the fresh ideas. So I bring on board fresh ideas, new ideas. I am talking about improving the profile of LSK. I'm talking about bread and butter issues. I'm talking about enhancing the profile of young lawyers. So those are the fresh ideas which I'm bringing on board, and they make me different from my competitors. And it's up to members of the legal profession to choose, and I think they will make the right choice.
So as we wind up,
yes.
There's this issue that we've been seeing from some senior lawyers,
yes.
Senior Counsel Menasir Abdullahi, and Senior Counsel Nelson Harvey,
Harvey,
about
yes.
corruption in the judiciary. So the current regime, let me call it a regime, we've seen them issuing statements left, right, and center condemning
the LSK regime.
Yes, the LSK regime, condemning the corruption and all that. As the LSK president, once you get elected, and if you do get elected, what will you do to fight corruption in the judiciary?
And is there corruption? Do you believe there is corruption in the judiciary?
Remember what I told you. I have practiced law for 18 years.
18 years, yes.
and it will be a total lie or a misrepresentation of facts if, as Peter Wanyama, I stand here and tell you there is no corruption in the judiciary. There is corruption at all levels of government, including the judiciary. And in the judiciary, there is corruption at all costs, all courts. There are very few judges who are clean, very few judges who decide cases with integrity, and very few judges who are, they are also hurt by this corruption in the judiciary. So we condemn the good apples and the bad apples together. So they feel the pain.
Yes.
So as at LSK, we need something better, because something more, what I call something transcendental. You now apply that laws of physics. You push it a little bit from the state of inertia to a state of motion. We need to get some things done. So let's push the issue of corruption, the agenda, beyond the boardroom talks. We need to now go do some action. And let me not say some of the things which I will do, but members have said, because members have said, members have told me that Wanyama, these are the issues that you will do, and all I need to tell them is that we will do these issues through a consultative process. Some of the things which we have in stock are very radical. Very, very radical. Very, very radical. Do you want me to give you a peek behind the curtain? I will in the next session. But there are very radical issues. There will be serious issues. Members will feel the measures that I'm going to implement. I already have data. I have data received from advocates on the judges who
take bribes.
We need to engage with it. We have that data. On my first day to office, we are going to write to the Judicial Service Commission. Remember, as I said, we are a country governed by the rule of law. So even the devil deserves to be heard. So we will follow the law first on the measures which are there, like engage the Judicial Service Commission. We'll make recommendations on how the Judicial Service Commission is supposed to process complaints within how many days. As a Kenyan, you have right to know when the Judicial Service Commission will process your complaint. You can't lodge a complaint, then they sit on it for 2 years. That's one of the things we'll be doing. We will be saying how many complaints have been lodged by Kenyan. Why is it that you have not taken action? Secondly, when you take action, we want to see a reasoned ruling. You don't sit in a commission, then you write to us and say that we decided. Where is the decision? We want to see the rationale. We want to see whether you consider the complaint. Thirdly, this one, if I say in the camera here, they are going to be very reactive. Yeah, that is why I say I'll give you this proposal behind the curtains. It's a very radical proposal on dealing with corruption. We will do it.
Asante Wakili. Probably your last thoughts on we are heading to the general election, the 2027 general election.
Yes.
What is your view about the IEBC preparedness also as we wind up, because time is not on our side?
Thank you. You see, IEBC, the current IEBC is taking over, and I'm saying this because I know. The current IEBC is taking over a technological platform for conduct of elections, which Kenyans have invested in. Remember, we began investing in this platform in 2017, and then you remember the gadgets that we were investing in. Those are heavy investment that Kenyans have done.
Kim's kits.
So exactly, Kim's kit. I don't expect then IEBC to have challenges to conduct the general election. All they need to do is to learn from the election reports, which election report from the former from the 2022 general election. Look at the gaps which are there, and then try and fill those gaps. For example, if the Kim's kit was not working in Mandera because of internet problems, they now need to resolve the internet challenge by having a backup. If they had not done proper training to presiding officers and clerks, they now need to complete the training. They have time to conduct a free and credible election based on the systems which are there. All I urge the commissioners is to I think the problem which they face is funding. Treasury doesn't give them money. Like you saw the other day, they were in Parliament saying we need 22 billion. So why can't we give them the money? They set up these systems, and I urge the National Treasury, Mr. Mbadi, give IEBC money. Let's not give them money 2 months before the election. Give them money now. let them lay that carpet for the conduct of a free and fair election, so that Kenyans can see. It will do two things. One, bring confidence to the electoral process and the decision of IEBC. It will bring confidence. Secondly, it will lay the basis for a free and fair election in 2027. At LSK, we will be there to ensure that the process is followed to the letter. The rule of law is not... the rule of law stands supreme. We will ensure that IEBC conducts a free and fair election. If there's a dispute on the election at LSK, we will participate as what we call friends of the court. Remember, we have a responsibility to advise government. So in court, we also have a responsibility to advise the court on the terrain of a free and fair election.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wakili.
Appreciate it.
What do you have to say, Bwana Kawonye?
Just to thank Wakili for coming and for the wonderful conversation that we've had. I had a question, but time is not on our side.
No, you may ask as he also gives us his final thought.
You can also invite me again.
And as you ask your last question,
yes.
he's also going to tell us whether if kura hazitatosha, whether it will be a delayed victory, and whether it's going to be the outcome of the February 19 election. So you may pose the last question as also gives us his final thoughts.
No problem. My last question, Wakili, was about IEBC and the presser that they had the other day, the chairperson saying that we cannot have a review of boundaries because they don't have enough time to prepare for the election and to review boundaries. And the two are in one way or the other against each other because the time to review boundaries is almost over. It's actually over. And then the date for the election is in the constitution.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know what
I think the chairman of IEBC is right. If you review boundaries now, it will most likely affect the date of the next general election, and it might create a constitutional crisis. So it is better that we go. Of course, it's very unfortunate that we didn't review boundaries because we didn't have commissioners early enough. But it is better if you look at it from a legal risk analysis. Which one do you choose? It is better if we conduct the review after the next election. For only one reason: we don't interfere with the 5-year election cycle and the term of the president. The term of the president is how many years?
It's 5.
Only 5 years. So if we do anything that delays a general election, it will have a consequential effect on the term of the president, a very controversial topic. It could be then 2-3 term, and then it's a problem. People will be talking about that discussion. So you have served, and then you served again for 2 years because there was a constitutional crisis that the boundaries had not been reviewed, so we had to postpone our elections. So my recommendation is to IBCs, do what it takes, don't postpone the general elections.
Thank you so much, Wakili, for coming, and we hope that we are going to invite you once you are elected.
Thank you.
And when you also don't clinch the position, I believe you also on our invitation.
Yeah, I'm here as an advocate. I'm an experienced advocate. I always come to KTN, the home of news.
Yes.
So I'll be happy to be back, to come back and share ideas on topical issues. I've been here before, I think more than 10 times.
Asante.
Thank you very
Until
much.
next time, I'm yours, Ndongo Gachane.
Thank you very much.
Unfiltered with Ndongo Gachane and Daniel Kariuki.